You bet your bottom dollar that I tried to record this video on my phone while I was driving at this angle and it fell like 5 times, so I gave up. Um, Basically, I want to try and keep this video, now that I've thought about it 100 times, I want to try and keep this video as short as possible, but still get my point across. One of the things that I have been struggling a lot with this week is self-destructive narratives. And one of the things that I have recently told my therapist is that I have a really good habit at having toxic self-destructive thought slash behavioral patterns when it comes to love, and that when I love a man and it is not reciprocated, it's really easy for me to project the rejection onto literally everybody, and I start feeding myself this narrative that I'm never going to be good enough for anybody, and nobody's ever going to love me, and my emotions are too big for people to handle, and nobody's ever going to take the time to understand why I'm the way that I am. Everybody that I love leaves me, like I start saying these things and I start thinking these things, and it's getting a little bit easier now that I've kind of been working through it and everything. But one of the worst things that you can do is use absolutes if it's not in a positive sense. And it's not about toxic positivity either. It's just in the sense of like, when you're saying things like nobody loves me, like you kind of have to step out of that space and just be like really nobody loves you, like for real, out of all the people you're gonna say nobody loves you, right? And so I have to, like, I do that in my head. And I remember one time, I'm really good now of being really mindful of that. So whenever I use absolute wording like that, and if you, I've talked about it before, but if you don't know what absolute wording is using things like everybody, nobody, never, always, right? um and so there was a day that I told my therapist, I was like, I just have this thing that everybody I love leaves me, right? And I was like, okay, well, not everybody, right? Or that nobody loves me, and or that I'm too hard to love, or whatever it is. And I was like, okay, but not nobody, because I'm legitimately surrounded. How many times have I told you guys this? I am surrounded by people that love me and accept me exactly as I am. And like I said, because I'm not getting the love and like romantic love and intimacy that I want from a specific person, then I just assume that nobody wants to give me that love. You know what I mean? And we have to be patient with ourselves when it comes to romantic love, because like, even though, yes, intimate love, platonic love, family love, like things like that are not the same, and I understand that, but like, take things as they are and accept them for what they are, and accept what you can and be grateful for what you have while you have them, kind of a thing. Law of attraction's real, and that brings me to the other reason why that thought, behavioral pattern, whatever, narrative is so bad, is because reading that book that I just finished, You Can Heal Your Heart, a lot of the times, and I've talked to you guys about this before too, but a lot of the times when you put yourself in that headspace of, oh, nobody's ever going to want to be with me, and I'm unlovable, and I'm never going to be good enough for everybody, when you're saying these things, you're conditioning your mind to seek out, because the ego always has to be right, you're conditioning yourself to seek out people and places and situations where that narrative is going to be fed and it's going to become true, right? And then you're going to start behaving in a way that makes that a reality for you. And because of that, when people see you or perceive you and that's how you're being, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want to be around that person. Like, they are so draining, they're so negative. And therefore, you are creating your own situation that you don't even want to happen, right? So it's all about mindfulness and being aware and self-aware and wanting to up level and just always come from a place of love. Like, the best thing that you can do is be empathetic, loving, understanding, like patient. People all Everybody has trauma, okay? If I've learned anything from the books that I've been reading, everybody has trauma. It just depends on the people that you surround yourself with, if they're willing to work on it or be called out on it, And I recently read this thing. I posted it on my Instagram story, but I read this really beautiful piece of writing that one of my followers, I follow like a couple authors, and she posted a picture of one of her books, and the passage in it basically talks about loving people where they're broken, and loving people where they're damaged, and loving the parts of people that people think are unlovable, because everyone realistically wants to be seen at least by one person, wants to be understood, wants to feel like connected or cherished or loved on a different kind of level. And it triggered an emotional response for me, because that's always been my thing, is I love people so much, but when I fall in love with a man, I have noticed since reading that and now thinking back on it, that that's what I do, is I fall in love with the parts of them that they don't think are worth loving, and I fall in love with the parts of them that I can get them to open up to me about, that they don't share with other people. Like I seek, and I do it in my friendships too, but I seek the broken and damaged and dark sides of people, because I know that people need those parts of them to be loved. You know what I mean? And because I hope that I know that I'm not a great person, and I have a dark side, and I have a damaged side, and I have a broken side too, and I'm working on it, but I would hope that one day somebody could love me for all those bad parts of me as well. You know what I mean? And because I haven't experienced that fully yet, like I've had people who have, when things are good, they try to tell me that they love me for those parts of me, but then when things are bad, they use those bad parts against me. So it makes me two things. It either makes me feel like they're using it as a cop-out to hurt me, to defend themselves and protect themselves, or they never really love those parts of me to begin with, and therefore their love's conditional. You know what I mean? And my love is so unconditional because I seek those parts of people to love those pieces as much as possible, as quickly as possible, before accepting all of them. But usually it all kind of happens at the same time. As I get to know somebody and as they start opening up to me, I'm like, this is the side of you that you don't show a lot of people, and this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? And my friends are really good at showing that kind of love back to me. And when I am able to reach out to people and ask for help or express myself to them, like, they're really good at encouraging me. And I've experienced it more over the last like 48 hours than I have really in my whole life, where I've had so many people reach out to me and tell me how incredible I am, how much I inspire them, like that, like I'm probably, and like people that don't talk to me normally, like these are friends that like I've had in grade school that I haven't talked to since like middle school, that are reaching out to me like, hey, I just want you to know, like, you're inspiring me, and I'm sure you're inspiring other people. And like that means so much to me, because social media is just like so annoying, and I've talked about that before, but realistically, like, I try to live, it's really easy to fake a life on social media, you know, like it's really easy to make your life look great. I've done it before where my life was falling apart, but I was trying for me to fake it till I make it, and I was trying to convince myself that my life was fine. I've seen other couples that were going through hell do the same thing, where they're on the brink of divorce or they're in the middle of a fight, and then but next thing you know, they're posting on Instagram like, you're the love of my life and I wouldn't trade you for the world. And I've done it too, but I've seen it in other people as well. So since then, I've made a promise to myself that I'm gonna live as authentically in real life as I do on social media, which is why I feel like it's necessary to be vulnerable with you guys. It's why I feel like it's necessary to tell you guys when I'm having a bad day, to show you guys that I cry and think shitty thoughts about myself, or how hard it is for me to accept myself as I am sometimes, you know, because if I'm gonna be that way with you in person, then I'm gonna be that way with you online. Or if you see me some type of way online, I want you to expect that from me in person too. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just some things going through my head. I don't even know if that whole video made sense, but I did want to share it with you guys while I had some downtime. But I love everybody that's been reaching out to me. Thank you guys so much. I know it's been a while since I've posted. Every single time I post, I say, like, things are getting better now, so I'm going to be able to post consistently. I'm not. One day I will get there. Things are rolling into motion. Every day I'm getting a little bit better, but for now, just keep expecting the unexpected. I love you guys, and I hope you have a good day, and thank you always for supporting me and hearing me out. And for those of you that continue to reach out and encourage me and support me, just know that your love and the time that you take out of your day to reach out to me does not go unnoticed, and I'm very thankful for all of you.